So today we're going to be looking at a scenario where China forms an empire in 2022. Hello everyone, future me here. I just want to say that at the time that I recorded this video, we had not yet hit 25,000 subscribers, but as of Sunday, we have hit 25,000 subscribers, which means I can finally reveal what I have for 25k. And yeah, I've released merchandise for 25,000 subscribers, but here's the catch: it is going to be limited time, and you will only be able to get it right now for like the next, I think I'm probably going to do it for the next month up until February. And then after that, you'll never be able to get the 25k special merch ever again. Now I've designed 4 products here. One is a sticker, one is a mug, and then the other 2 are clothing, which is a hoodie and a t-shirt. So taking a look at the sticker first, this is probably the best thing to show off because it shows the design the best. It's a pretty simple design, but it also is pretty meaningful. We have my name at the top, the earth in the center, and then 25k at the bottom. It's probably the most representative and the most simple design that I could have come up with. Now this also easily goes across to different products. So the mug has the same design and it looks really sleek and clean. It's also double-sided, so if you want to display this thing for some reason, then you can do it however you want. And finally, the main thing that everyone likes is the clothes. So the front of the design is pretty simple. All we have is an A up here in the corner, and I'll show you guys better video at the end. And then once again on the back we have that nice design. Kind of hard to see, but there we go. And this can all be found on a special website at AdizzPromerch.com. They'll be up on the screen somewhere over here. Now the website is super simple. All you gotta do is find the product that you want and then click it, and then if you want to buy it, you buy it. You can change the color, you can change the size. It's really simple. And if you guys don't like the 25k on the design, you can also get it without it, but just to note that that is not limited time. That will be here again in the future. So just letting you know, the 25,000 design is only going to be here for the next month, but the one without the 25,000 will be here for like the rest of the year. I don't know. So if you guys are looking into this, I would recommend the one with the 25k because that's symbolism. If I ever blow up in the future, then you can say you were here for that. Now talking about quality, quality is also a really important feature in these things. The hoodies and the clothing is actually pretty high quality. I just tried this on today, and I really can't complain about it. The one note that I would have if you guys are going to order something is maybe get a size up from what you usually are. So instead of, say, if you were a medium, I would get a large, or if you were large, I would get an extra large. Now the reason I say that is because it's kind of snug on me. This is my usual size. So maybe if you're just you don't want to return it or do all that process, then just get a size up. It wouldn't hurt. And yeah, so that's what we're going to be doing for 25k. It's not a video, but it's also super cool because, like I said, product design, really cool. And one last thing before we get into this video, I'm going to be doing a kind of shout out giveaway kind of thing. Basically, if you guys want to enter into a competition, if you buy a piece of merch, it could be anything, and send me a picture of it on Discord, I will enter you into a competition. There'll be one winner, and the winner gets kind of a shout out in a video. All you gotta do is join my Discord server in the description below, order a piece of merch, and then DM a picture of that merch to an admin or a mod or a helper. They will then forward that to me, and I will enter you into the competition, and yeah, good luck. And yeah, so 25k, 25% of the way there to a play button. That's crazy. I didn't think I would ever really get this far on YouTube. So I just want to say thank you, and let's go ahead and jump into the video. I'm super excited to record today's video because this is the first day of daily upload week. So this is being posted on Sunday. There will be a video throughout this entire week, all the way up till Saturday. And I might even post an extra video next Sunday, just to be nice. I don't know. I'll think about it. So yeah, I'm super excited for this, and let's go ahead and jump right into it. So throughout this entire video, China is going to be represented by the color of red. Suiting, right? And honestly, China has a pretty easy way for them to kind of build up and get stronger. They're definitely going to have some foes, such as Japan, India, and even Russia. Also, an important note, the UN, the EU, and NATO do not exist in this world just because it makes the video more entertaining. So the first thing that this new Chinese empire does is declare war on Myanmar. Chinese troops push across on all fronts into Myanmar and start a full-scale invasion. Now, this is a really mountainous area, so China is going to have some problems, but they do likely have a pretty open area over here. They also have to worry about the jungle and stuff. But for the most part, China is pushing through central Burma just to get down into the less mountainous areas. After doing so, they finally meet the coast of Burma, and from there start to invade the rest of Myanmar. After cutting Myanmar into 3 different pieces, the country surrenders. So just like that, China has now access to I think it's the Bay of Bengal. So from here, China keeps its focus on Southeast Asia and declares war on Thailand. Trust me, I will never make the mistake of confusing Myanmar and Burma again. I did that one time in fixing the borders of Asia video, and I did not hear the end of it. I'm still not hearing the end of it. It was a simple geography mistake. They're right next to each other. They look similar. I know which is which. Anyhow, Chinese troops are now pushing into the Thailand territory. I don't know what I was about to say. They swiftly moved down into the recently annexed Burma tail, and that's what I'm going to be calling these two things. They cut off Thailand from Thailand and capture all of their coasts. From here, we actually have a pretty swift fall of Thailand, as a lot of their major cities are on this coast. The mainland falls, and shortly after, the tail falls. So from here, we have 3 countries remaining over here in Southeast Asia: Lao, Cambodia, and Vietnam. Now, Laos is already a communist country, so they opt to join China just so they don't have to get invaded. Now, it's pretty much the same story with Cambodia, except they aren't communist, but Cambodia and China have really close ties in real life, so I don't see why they wouldn't join them and would rather get invaded. So just like that, China has now expanded all the way down into Southeast Asia and is looking pretty strong. But now we are finally getting to a pretty eventful part of the video, and as you can see, the only country remaining is Vietnam. Now, I've seen a lot of comments concerning Vietnam and China's relationships. I see a lot of people say that Vietnam and China are good friends, and to that I say that you're kind of wrong. Vietnam and China fought together during the Vietnam War, and Vietnam was obviously fighting against the US and South Vietnam. But since then, Vietnam and the US have really improved their relations. They're good trading partners, and I think that Vietnam is more pro-Western than it is pro-Chinese. So I don't really see Vietnam ceding over to China, especially because of some historical things that have happened between these two. So yeah, Vietnam basically just stays and denies any ultimatums, and it actually gets some guarantees on them. Those guarantees are the Philippines guaranteeing Vietnam's independence, we have Taiwan guaranteeing Vietnam's independence, and we have South Korea and Japan guaranteeing. Now, this is mainly just to stop China from doing what they're doing, but that doesn't really hold back China, as they have a pretty big advantage when it comes to fighting against all these countries. All 4 of the countries that just guaranteed Vietnam are in the ocean. So, yeah, China's just going to take Vietnam. This time, it's not going to be like how it was with America. China has special troops that are trained to fight in forest and jungle, so they take Vietnam pretty easily. Now, I know that there would be guerrilla tactics used once again. There's a lot of stuff that Vietnam can utilize to fight against China, but because Vietnam was just the first step of this major war that's going to break out, I'm just going to go ahead and have them annexed for simplicity reasons. So, as I stated earlier, these 4 countries all guaranteed Vietnam's independence, which means they're now all at war with China. The Chinese Navy is also something we probably shouldn't joke about, because it is serious, but China has the world's 2nd strongest navy. So the first thing the Chinese Navy does is make a landing in western Taiwan. Now, Taiwan has stated that it is going to be very hard to invade, and I think 70% of citizens of Taiwan said they would fight for Taiwan. So it really isn't going to be a walk in the park for China here. And the same could be said for the Philippines. You know, the Philippines really do not like China in today's modern era, so I don't really see the Philippines getting invaded too easily. China is also kind of worried about India joining in on this war to stop their expansion. And if India were to join in, then they might be in trouble. But luckily, China does have some friends in this war. We have North Korea joining in on the side of China just to take out the South and reclaim all of the Korean Peninsula. And we have Pakistan and Afghanistan joining in on the side of China. Now, this would really further push India into joining in on the side of the blue team, but for now, they don't do that. On the Korean Peninsula, we see North Korean and Chinese troops fighting against Japanese and South Korean troops, and little progress is made on each side. The red team is mainly focusing on capturing Seoul, so they have a bulk of their army pushing down to capture the said city. Back on Taiwan, eventually the Chinese Navy does manage to successfully take out the entire island, and the landing is made in the northern Philippines. Now, if you're from the Philippines, I know you're understandably going to be pretty angry about this, and I honestly don't think China would be able to successfully take all of the Philippines in real life. Now, the reason I'm voicing my opinion on this is because China doesn't have access to YouTube, so I can kind of say whatever I want to say. Although the Chinese government may be after me now, this video is featuring them, so if they're watching, I'm making your country have an empire, as it should in real life. You know, China should control all this, obviously. And yeah, the invasion ensues. Eventually, Seoul is captured by the North Koreans and Chinese, and South Korea falls back a little bit. Now, South Korea and Japan both have really strong militaries, so it's not going to be a complete walk in the park for China, as I said earlier. But overall, like I said, this video is favored towards China, so China in real life has like 1 million personnel. In this video, they have 3 million. Also, nuclear bombs, non-existent in this world. So back down to the Philippines, China continues to invade the northern Filipino island. But yeah, they're invading all these things, and eventually the whole country just starts to fall apart. A majority of the Philippine population starts to move down towards Australia, which seems like it might join in on this war. After evacuation of all of the government officials of the Philippines and some of its citizens, we have the fall of the Philippines. Back in Korea, it's also not looking good, as the South Korean and Japanese armies are being pushed down to southern South Korea. Eventually, Korea is lost, and Japan is the only country remaining. Lots of naval fighting is taking place over here in the east, and also a lot of naval fighting taking place over here in the Sea of Japan. Now, it's pretty likely that the Western powers are selling boats and guns to Japan, so they're going to be able to hold off China here. Japan is also like a fortress, so it's going to be extremely hard for them to invade, and I most likely see Japan just kind of signing peace with China and nothing happening between the two. But eventually we do get round 2 here, and Japan calls India into the war. Now this was a pretty hesitant move, but we all know that India and China don't really like each other. And in addition to that, we also have Australia joining the war. They're sending their navy and troops up to Japan in order to combat any kind of naval invasions taking place over here. Meanwhile, India pushes into Pakistan and western Burma. Back over in South Asia, we have India capturing Islamabad, but Pakistan does not surrender. We also see a Chinese pushback in Burma. From here, they enter into eastern India and take out all the area and set up a front line over here between Nepal and Bangladesh. So India just lost a lot of territory over to China, but luckily for them, a lot of their population and economy is over in this region. There's also a lot of freaking mountains right here, so I don't think China is going to be able to push into India anymore, which kind of gives India a way to push into Pakistan and possibly even Afghanistan. But mountains really don't stop troops from moving, so China sends a lot of its troops into Afghanistan, down into Pakistan, and onto the front line with India. Back over in the Philippines, we see the Australians making a small landing on the southern Filipino island, and eventually pushing up and capturing the entire thing. We continue to see skirmish between the two navies over here with no progress being made, and over in Pakistan, we see India capturing more coasts, but on the flip side, Pakistan takes back Islamabad and pushes the Indian army out of northern Pakistan. From here, both China and Pakistan push into the area that shall not be named, and set up a front line with the rest of India. Eventually, we see Australia, Japan, and India kind of get exhausted from this war, and it's pretty clear that China is going to win no matter what. So Japan makes a deal with China. Basically, North Korea is allowed to take over a majority of South Korea, but a small little state is left just so Japan can kind of like have a little bit of influence over the Korean Peninsula. China is also allowed to take all of Taiwan and all of Vietnam. But Japan says nothing about the Philippines, which kind of leads to a Cold War-ish kind of thing between China and Australia over the Philippines. Basically, no one's really too focused on it because Australia doesn't really see a point in taking over the Philippines, and China is more focused on India. Speaking of India, over in India, we have India, I just said that 3 times, pushing into Pakistan and cutting it into 2 countries. Although that really isn't a problem because they can just go into Afghanistan. Soon enough, the two sides come to a peace agreement and peace talks begin. So taking a look at a peace treaty with India here, we have kind of an exchange between lands here. India pretty much lost all of their eastern area and a bit of their northern area, but in exchange got some pretty valuable land over here from Pakistan. Now India was on track to probably lose this war, so they kind of just took what they could get and lost what they had. So with that, Afghanistan and Pakistan exit the war, and it is just China versus Australia. Australia makes a little bit more progress in retaking some Philippine islands, but eventually the two sides come to a stalemate and no progress is made. Eventually though, we do see a peace treaty in which we just have the Philippine islands being cut up between the two powers. So yeah, this is what our Chinese empire has come to. Now China's going to do one last thing in this video, and it's kind of calling back to an ancient rivalry, and the country in question is Mongolia. There's really no questioning what the outcome of this war is. Chinese troops just sweep in and the country falls within like 3 weeks. And just like that, China has now formed its new empire in 2022. So, they had to do a lot, they went through a lot, and they managed to come up with this, which is pretty impressive. Like I said at the beginning of this video, this is the start of daily upload week, and I'm super excited for it. So this is the first video done and down, and I might go up to next Sunday just posting videos. I might even do more than that. It all depends on what I can manage and what I can fit into. So yeah, if you guys enjoyed today's video, make sure to leave a like on it and subscribe to the channel if you're new. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.